Hi, my name is Kenya Broadnax and I will be presenting my Lifeline project.
So we start off here. I was born on December 8th of 1999. First picture you see is actually me as a baby, and the second one is me during my pageant ages. And we come up to the first peak of my life. This is a picture of dinosaurs. It just represents me meeting my best friend who I've known since kindergarten. We actually met fighting over dinosaur toys. We wanted the same one, and we're being very stubborn about who's actually going to play with it. This is my first downside. I actually fractured my finger messing around with my father, and I fell off the couch. That was not a very pretty time for me. Not too long later, my father actually left my life. There were a lot of ups and downs and problems to why everything happened the way that it did, but this is just kind of the point that I recall my best, him actually leaving and not really coming around for a while. Next up in my life that's a picture of the bridge in San Francisco. I actually took my first plane ride to San Francisco, where my eldest sister lives now and lived then, to spend a summer with her. This just shows a broken heart. Not too long after this is about my senior year of high school. I experienced my first real heartbreak. It is what it is. We all have to go through it at some point, and this was just the time for my first one. It definitely had an effect on how I view relationships now and affects the way that I actually engage in relationships. So then I actually graduated high school, and that is my actual diploma from high school. After graduating, I got a car that is not my exact car, but that is the make and model and the same color of the car that I had. I also learned how to drive right around the time high school was ending for me. So this is a big up. It kind of shows how I was becoming independent. Next this is a picture of one of the buildings at the University of Oregon. That's where I spent my first year of college. I was actually really excited to get in. It was a really exciting time for me. I thought, everything was going to be great from here, which is then when I moved on to my sorority. This is a picture of the actual house of Alpha Chi Omega at the University of Oregon, where I spent a very good amount of my time being on the board and just interacting with the girls who lived in and the girls who did not. I have a lot of memories in this house. 21, that represents me currently, and soon, since I just got accepted into California State, CSULB, sorry, I actually plan to study abroad in London, and that's what this picture is supposed to represent. This is a picture of somewhere in London, not quite sure where. Hopefully I'll get to see it in person because it looks really pretty, but I'm excited for that. And then that'll be this semester before I actually graduate, so then I'm expecting, this will be my diploma, my undergrad, and I'll be all done with that. I was actually promised, here comes a really big peak in my life, to go to Africa with my oldest sister after graduating college, so I'm really excited. I'll be seeing Kenya, it'll be great. And then I want to move on and get my master's degree. I do want to get it in psychology, and further into the project, you will see what I want to do with it. I'm still living with my mom, so I'm hoping that by the time I get my master's degree, I will actually be able to move out and afford an apartment on my own. So fingers crossed on that one. We move down here, clinical psychology. That is one of the many careers you can have during or after getting a master's in psychology, and that's what I've always really wanted to do. I really like helping people, and the idea of sitting in therapy, just really being able to do that, I'm really excited about it. So another peak, the day that most girls plan and dream about for a really long time, my wedding. I do hope to get married at some point in my life. Do I know who to? No, but I'm sure the person will come on along the way at some point. Next peak in my life will be actually buying my first home. That'll be really exciting because I can't even picture how that's going to go down, but with my significant other, I'm sure we can do that. I'm also really excited to travel the world. That is a really big thing for me. I have my passport and it currently has 0 stamps in it, so I really am hoping that before I die it has plenty of stamps in it. Next on, gotta do all my traveling before I actually have a kid. I personally don't want to have my own kid. My plan is to adopt, so this is just an application for adoption. Yeah. And this was actually supposed to be a down arrow. I just realized that no. So, but I'm just expecting that at some point, being realistic, my mother has to pass away. And even just thinking about that now is making me upset. So we're gonna move on from this one and just show you that I have I really highly suspect that I will end up becoming depressed. So that is going to be really upsetting, but I see that happening. The good thing is I will more than likely be in therapy during this time, so I'll have a lot of help with the grief process. Knowing my luck, I'm sure I'm gonna have to say goodbye to someone else. I'm sure someone close to me again will pass, and I will still have to continue living on my life. I do expect to retire at some point. That would be amazing, and you know, I'm not quite sure what I want to do at this time yet. Probably more traveling, but I didn't feel like it was necessary to incorporate another traveling picture as I have already done a couple of them. So traveling is definitely high up on there. This is a picture of a car accident. Anyone who knows me will also probably have some idea that I think that I will die in a car accident. I've had many times in which I've just kind of been freaked out on the freeway, seeing wild things just kind of in my own head while driving, and that is my suspicion. That is what I think is going to happen. And last but not least, after taking the quiz, it said that I should die around the age of 84, so fingers crossed that I actually get to live that long. That'd be amazing. And this is just a gravestone of someone's, and I really liked what they wrote on it, how terrible it is to love something that death can touch. I think that that's something that I would actually get on mine, since death is actually just something that I think is really scary. It's probably the scariest thing I know. Or, in a sense, I guess I don't know, but that's my project. Thank you so much.